Hey folks, I can't believe this is real, but I've got some incredibly good news and it couldn't come at a better time. Last Monday, a guideline changed with our company, and I can't believe this is real, but Diane in my office helped a family with a 545 credit score save nearly $6,000 a year. More importantly than that, they did this with a 545 credit score. They had tried banks, they had tried credit unions, hell, they had applied with us earlier in the year, and we couldn't help them. But when our guideline changed last Monday, it opened up an entire opportunity for a second chance, and it could be the one you've been looking for. Our borrower was a 43-year-old union worker. He worked in the construction business in Pennsylvania, and he found himself stressed to the max. He was over the limit. He was maxed out. Some of his credit cards had been charged off. He had loans with finance companies at 35% interest. He knew he could do better, but he needed someone to give him that second chance. We were able to show him how to use the equity in his home to reduce his monthly payments and get out of debt faster with cheaper monthly payments. He's going to save $489 a month. Now, I'm not saying everybody can do this, and I don't know how long this will even last, but right now we're able to help you at savewithconrad.com. We just did it last week for a fellow with a 545 credit score. And this is the part that blew my mind. I can't believe this is even real. He didn't even need an appraisal. No appraisal. It's fast and easy. And I know what you're thinking. Well, this has to be a subprime loan. It's not. It's with Fannie Mae. Well, this has to be at a crazy high interest rate. It's not. It's with Fannie Mae. Well, this has to be a balloon payment. It's not. It's with Fannie Mae. This is a fixed rate solution for people who really need a second chance. And if that defines you, go get a quick quote right now at savewithconrad.com. And did I mention no house payments for 2 months? If you haven't already, you don't have to make your December or your January payments. So don't worry about putting Christmas on a credit card. We're going to pay those credit cards off together today at savewithconrad.com. And come February 1st, you're going to have a cheaper monthly payment. But imagine if you got to take a Christmas vacation for all of your bills in the month of December and January. We've eliminated that holiday stress. Now you don't have to worry about making a New Year's resolution to save money. You did it right now. Go get a quote for yourself right now at savewithconrad.com or send me an email at conrad@savewithconrad.com. Tell me what your problems are and we'll find a solution together at savewithconrad.com. And as always, we don't have an application fee. There's no cost. There's no application fee. If we can't save you money, we won't waste your time. But what if you could make life a whole heck of a lot easier? That's what we're talking about. My buddy in Pennsylvania is saving $6,000 a year. Find out how much money you can save right now for free. But let me ask you this. What happens if you don't check out savewithconrad.com? Think about that, and let's start saving some money together at savewithconrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender.
savewithconrad.com.
Hey, it's Conrad, the mortgage guy, and we want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Of course, we couldn't do Grilling JR without the voice of professional wrestling, Mr. Jim Ross. Jim, how are you, man?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Looking forward to this. These are really challenging. I was telling you before we started recording, these are really challenging to do, to produce, because everybody knows this match happened years ago, and it was a classic. I've never seen it, so that's good for me today. I've never seen it, but do you do the match like you were there? And that's how I'm going to do it today. Or do you do it in a narration form where you narrate what's going on? And I'm not a big narration guy. And this is a hell of a match. It's one of the best matches. A lot of old timers, old fans will say this is the best match that they've ever seen. You know, I know that Bret Hart and Steve Austin get a lot of that praise, as they should. But there's only a handful of matches that you can go back and look at and say, this is an all-time classic. Well, folks, this match we're about to see is an all-time classic, and I'll do my best with it. As I said, I've never called a match like this big, this important, this far removed. So let's get started and have some fun.
We are going to have a lot of fun with it. Momentarily, we're going to be watching Samoa Joe and Kenta Kobashi. A lot of people would argue it's the greatest Ring of Honor match of all time. It went down October 1st, 2005. So it just recently passed the 20-year anniversary. And we all saw this past Sunday night, Samoa Joe became the AEW World Champion once again. It was a bloodbath. It was an incredible show. I can't wait for us to see what happened. We're recording this on Tuesday in advance of Wednesday night in Nashville. So we don't know exactly what the fallout is, but we know for sure that Chris Statlander retained. Samoa Joe is the new champ. Somehow, some way, Mark Briscoe is the TNT champ. It was an incredible show. And we thought, hey, you know what? With Samoa Joe becoming the second time AEW World Champion, why don't we watch some of Samoa Joe's best matches ever? And we're going to start today with Samoa Joe and Kenta Kobashi, an absolute barn burner. I want to go ahead and give a cheap plug and a shout out to Tony Khan for allowing us to show this here. We want to remind you that you can watch Ring of Honor television every Thursday night at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, exclusively on Honor Club. That's over at watchroh.com. It's only $9.99 a month. It's available on Apple and Google Play app stores, Roku, and Amazon Fire. I want to give a special shout out to Honor Club, watchroh.com. They've got a lot of your favorites. If you grew up an AJ Styles fan or a Samoa Joe fan or a Low Key fan or a CM Punk fan or even a Seth Rollins fan, man, they were all there. Bryan Danielson, Nigel McGuinness. It's a who's who in Ring of Honor, and it's available now at watchroh.com. You know, Jim, speaking of who's who, it's going to be a who's who this weekend at WrestleCade in Winston-Salem at the Benton Convention Center. And the rumor and innuendo is JR and the King are getting together this Saturday from 10 to 2:30. Do I have that right?
I can confirm that. It's going to happen. King is going to meet me there on Saturday, and we're going to do a Saturday. We got a nice little 4.5 hour stint at WrestleCade. It's one of the better run conventions in the business, and it seems like there's one every other day. But these guys do a great job. I'm looking forward to seeing the King. He and I both have had several life changes since we last saw each other. So that's going to be fun. It's always fun to see him. And I tell somebody that the best material you could get is put a mic on us and just let us and record our conversations of the day, because they're crazy and fun and enjoyable. So anyway, this weekend at WrestleCade, I appreciate those guys inviting me back, and I look forward to talking to the fans and enjoy my time in Greensboro.
Winston-Salem, actually, Jim.
But well, no, you're right. I got to know where the hell I'm going. Winston-Salem.
Well, what we wish is you guys would go right now to WrestleCade.com. That's where you can get all the information and grab your tickets. It's an incredible Thanksgiving weekend tradition. I think they've done this for like 15 or 20 years. I think the world of Tracy Myers and, of course, Brian Hawks. They do a great job with their staff. Go join them. WrestleCade.com is your hookup, and you can meet JR and the King there this Saturday, 10 to 2:30 in Winston-Salem at the Benton Convention Center. I think everybody in wrestling is going to be there. You should be too. But without further ado, man, I'm pretty excited. I can't lie. I'm looking forward to watching this match with you. We're going to allow the voice of wrestling to do what he does best. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be revisiting one of the more iconic matches of all time. I guess I should mention, just to give some frame of reference, Kobashi, this is his first and only trip to wrestle here in the United States. By the time he graduated from the All Japan Dojo in '88, Giant Baba had stopped sending some of his new guys on what I guess was once a traditional learning excursion abroad. So this is his first weekend here in America, right before he works these shows for Ring of Honor, because he did not one but two shows for Ring of Honor. He worked a match for Harley Race's WLW show, which was his independent promotion in Missouri. And at that event, Harley went out of his way to say he was Mr. Wrestling or Mr. Pro Wrestling in Japan, and he bestowed that nickname on Kobashi. That's a pretty grand honor when Harley Race gives you his nickname, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah, it's like Teddy Williams saying you're a good hitter.
Yeah.
Keep it up, kid. But Harley saw natural timing in this young man. and he just was cohesive. He had great fluidity. You'll see all this, and he's not a huge guy, but he's damn sure big enough to hurt you.
You know, when dinner time hits and your fridge is full of question marks, ButcherBox has your back. Skip the last minute supermarket sweep or the impromptu chop challenge with whatever's left over in your fridge. ButcherBox will deliver you better meat right when you need it. Turns out ButcherBox has over 100 premium protein choices that can be delivered straight to your door. We're talking 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork raised, crate-free. And what about the wild-caught seafood? You see, for nearly a decade, ButcherBox has led the industry with meat and seafood that's antibiotic-free, hormone-free, and independently verified. It's a cleaner, more trustworthy version of what you may find at the grocery store. But how about this? It's delivered right to your door. You see, every product from ButcherBox meets the same rigorous standards, whether it's filet mignon or chicken nugs. Whether you're hosting for the holidays or meal prepping through the chaos, maybe you just need to feed a family with picky preferences, ButcherBox can hook you up. They've got fully customizable plans that fit your needs and your schedule. And this really worked with my wife and I. I think everybody knows she's on her fitness journey. She's going to be doing some meal prepping every single week, a few times a week. She loves their chicken. It can't be beat. And I'm trying a little bit of that carnivore diet. And I got to tell you, I can taste the difference with ButcherBox's grass-fed beef. I'm a big believer in their steaks. They got everything though, from steak to chicken. By the way, I want to mention, as a certified B Corp, ButcherBox is committed to these high standards, from how the animals are raised to how their team supports workers and even reduces environmental impact. But every box ships free always, and it includes members only perks like recipe inspirations and tips and exclusive deals to help you make the most on every meal. And right now, just because you listen to this podcast, we've got an exclusive offer where our listeners can get free turkey or ham in their first box. You can even choose ground beef for life plus $20 off your first order. Go right now to butcherbox.com/JR to choose your offer and get this limited time deal with free shipping as always. That's butcherbox.com/JR. butcherbox.com/JR. Don't forget to use our link so they know we sent you. What's interesting is, you know, he had become known and earned a reputation as being one of, if not the greatest wrestler on the planet at the time. Certainly for the hardcore fans like Dave Meltzer and his readers of the Wrestling Observer, they voted him the Wrestler of the Year on 3 occasions prior to this. And there's always been rumor and innuendo, Jim, that WWE may have had interest in Kobashi. And we know when your run as head of talent relations comes to an end, Johnny Ace slides into that spot. Some of our listeners may not know that Kobashi and Johnny Ace were once tag partners and spent a lot of time together in Japan. Was he ever on your radar that you recall, Kobashi in the WWE?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can't overlook great talent, and when they become available, if they're healthy and all the table's somewhat level for this crazy business, you got to look at them. So heck yeah, we looked at him, but you know, some of these established Japanese stars have such deep obligations and deep roots in Japan. It's just hard to get many dates on them. And if you can't follow up on the television that you invest in them, it's somewhat of a failed prophecy.
We should mention that by this time, Kobashi is no longer representing All Japan. He's now with Noah, which was Masawa's promotion, and he's coming off of the prior March. This match again happened October 1st. Back in March, he lost the world title, the GHC, over there in Noah after a 2-year run. And the prior December is when we saw Samoa Joe's Ring of Honor run come to an end. He had been the world champ in Ring of Honor for like 21 months or something crazy. So arguably, you've got the very best in Ring of Honor against the very best of Noah. This is a special attraction. Ring of Honor had to stretch the budget. Allegedly, they paid $10,000 for this match, and that included, I guess, a couple of matches because they did a tag match the next night and some meet and greets, but they were strategic in making it happen. But you'll see, and you'll notice when we watch this back, Jim, Kobashi did not phone it in. Respectfully, he could have just played a few hits, as they like to say, and fans would have eaten it up and been thrilled. Instead, he was intent on creating what he called the perfect match. And I guess there were special precautions made here. You'll notice the Ring of Honor ring is not as bouncy, doesn't have as much spring as maybe it used to. That's because they knew that Kobashi's knees would not work well with that. So they were actually borrowing blankets out of the hotels to wrap the beams to stiffen up the ring and work with his knees a little better. You'll also notice in this match that there are ring steps. Now that doesn't seem like a big deal, but this is the first time Ring of Honor has had ring steps. Kobashi at his advanced age with all the battles, he's not like he's an old guy. He's only 38. But when you've been wrestling the hard hitting style he was, the knees are often the first thing to go, right, Jim?
Yeah. That's unfortunate too, because they're essential in the success of virtually any wrestler. You got to be able to get up and down, and you got to be able to move.
I can't wait for us to watch this. Two of the all-time greats doing what they do best. I think we've given enough pomp and circumstance and enough context to let you know what you're about to be watching. I want to mention that this match was so incredible and the crowd was so hot for it that it was originally offered with no other commentary. So there's never been commentary on this match. And I think Gabe Sapolsky, who was making the decisions for Ring of Honor at the time, thought the crowd was so hot for it, it could only take away from it. Well, I thought, it'd be a darn shame if we never had the voice of wrestling on this tape. So we're going to endeavor to make that happen right here. And as the story goes, I think Samoa Joe said this on your pal Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast. Kobashi wasn't even sure if the fans would know who he was. He wondered, do I need to work a more Mr. Fuji style heel match? And Joe had to talk him out of that and said, oh no, these fans have been watching your bootleg tapes for years and they'll know. And you will see an unbelievable reaction when he comes out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They knew, and they were his most loyal fans.
Yes.
They'll be there come hell or high water, and no matter how far they had to travel. So I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And that's why wrestling travels well, Conrad, don't you know?
There's no doubt about that. Kobashi at this point is 38 years old. He's been wrestling as probably one of the best in the game for the prior 15 years. He was Wrestler of the Year in 96, in 03, and 04. And he was actually in 5 matches of the year. Think about that. When it comes to the hardcore fan, the Wrestling Observer readers, he won Match of the Year 5 times. It's unbelievable. I can't wait for us to watch this. Man, I can't wait. Of course, as you're listening to this, today is Thanksgiving, and I am thankful that this Saturday it's Survivor Series War Games from Petco Park in San Diego, and MyBookie has odds on every match. Want some action on John Cena defending his Intercontinental title against Dirty Dom? MyBookie's got you covered. Find out who's favored, the Vision or the team of Cody, CM Punk, the Usos, and Roman. Maybe you're looking to lay something down on the ladies. Will it be Stephanie or Nikki in that women's world title championship match? But at MyBookie, buddy, you're not just betting on the winners. Man, you get to bet on entrances, turns, shock wins, and you get paid whenever you read the story right. Sign up right now with the promo code JR50 and MyBookie will back you on your first deposit. $100 gets you $50 extra. $200 gets you a Benjamin, and what you do with it is up to you. Survivor Series this weekend. Bet smart, cash in only at MyBookie, and don't forget to use the promo code JR50. Without further ado, let's take a look at Samoa Joe and Kenta Kobashi here from October 2005.
Boy, tickets for this one were hard to come by. Generally regarded as the best in their field. You gotta wonder if this will be one of those situations where it comes down to the guy that makes the biggest mistake first loses an advantage. Due to injuries, Kobashi's style has changed over the years. He didn't take too many chances. Samoa Joe returning that kick. Both these guys are known by the boys in the locker room. God knows they never exaggerate. They're known as two of the toughest guys in wrestling. Legit. Wow, that's somewhat startling. That's one way to get a guy's attention. My late friend Dr. Des T. Williams told me once, and on more than one occasion, that Kobashi was unworldly. And those were hard, thick hands. Fans loving it. Samoa Joe not too happy with it. Doc loved wrestling Kobashi because they're both of a very physical mindset, and they both knew how to wrestle. Here are the fans in the background chanting, "This is awesome." And this match just really getting underway. Wrestling is red hot in Japan, but nothing hotter than this, as the Joe takes a big chance. Didn't blow up on him. Both these guys know that they've got to hit one giant move to win. And Joe being somewhat kind-hearted and sportsmanlike, letting Kobashi get his wits about him, perhaps. The smartest thing Joe could do is put Kobashi back in the ring and pin him. There was a kick out, a weak one at that, but a kick out by Kobashi at 1. Man, tickets to this event sold out early. Samoa Joe near 300 pounds with a cover and a near fall. Joe now controlling the tempo, controlling the pace. He's not taking a lot of shots, and Kobashi, known for delivering thunderous kicks and chops, has been able to quote unquote get off on Samoa Joe. Can you imagine the feather in the hat for Samoa Joe if he were to make Kobashi submit? But right now, Joe's got to submit that pinning situation. Kobashi in the ropes, automatic hold break. Notice how careful and cautious Samoa Joe is. Heavy hands, folks. Heavy hands. Boy, these are two tough, extraordinary athletes. Wow. Oh, chops. They're almost painful to watch. Hard kicks by Joe. Joe seemingly fighting out of desperation, but he wasn't. He was in control. Samoa Joe, an extraordinary man of character and toughness. Those shots, no stranger to Japanese fans. Who's going to fall first, folks? Because there's a lot of heavy damage being done. Fans appreciative of the effort and the display of toughness by both guys. Fans enjoying their ROH experience here tonight. Thunderous knee drop, heavy right on the chest of Kobashi, but Joe doesn't cover right away. That may be they may come back and haunt him. Samoa Joe running right through Kobashi, almost sticking his foot right through Kobashi's face. And the Amazing Warrior from Japan moving slower and slower, trying to endure and withstand this offensive onslaught from a heavy-handed Samoa Joe. You can almost feel and see that one coming, ladies and gentlemen. This thud of flesh on flesh. What an amazingly physical match we are being privileged to see here tonight. Fans here still emotionally invested in this classic. But the human body can only take so much, ladies and gentlemen. I know that's obvious. There comes a situation where who's going to break first? Kobashi's had his share of injury and health problems. His knees are essentially hollow. Front face lock. As old as is wrestling. Referee calling for the break because Joe is in the ropes. I don't think I've seen as many toxic knife edge chops in my life than we're seeing here. That's the move that Kobashi has decided to come with tonight. Kobashi, a huge hero here in Japan. And those chops unprotected to boot. Kick out at 2. Now the crowd, you can tell, on the side of Kobashi. That's out of respect. Awesome match indeed. These fans getting their money's worth. The vertical suplex was blocked by Samoa Joe. Kobashi got his share of it. As a matter of fact, he got all of it. Right in the throat. Then you hammer that Adam's apple, you got problems. Joe trying to retaliate with those kicks. Chops and kicks. You like physicality, folks? You like a slobber knocker? That's what you got going right here, a slobber knocker. And the passion, you can feel it. You can feel the emotion here. Kobashi almost looking on at all of the crowd. It's full, it's sold out. Kobashi wrestling an honorable match. He hasn't intentionally fouled yet that I recall. Abdominal stretch. The great Wilbur Snyder's trademark contribution to pro wrestling, the abdominal stretch. It's a submission maneuver. And Joe finally gallantly and desperately makes his way to the ropes. That's going to cause her a break. But boy, how much damage has been done is my question. Knife edge, hard, unprotected. Samoa Joe able to kick out, but not by much. And Kobashi is like a winter coat. He's all over you. Not putting himself into a position to make any tragic mistakes, i.e. a loss. In the wrestling space, this match will make headlines all over the world. How it's gone, who wins, who loses, why, how. Right in the face. Joe with a spurt of offense. Can he maintain that? Can he maintain that momentum that he's trying to regain? Those thuds are not sound effects. It's human flesh on flesh in this classic encounter. And as a wrestler, you really got to be willing to pay the price to get involved in a match like this, because there's no way in hell your body can recover in a matter of days. And a lot of wrestlers have it where if they don't wrestle, they don't get paid. Power bomb on the top turnbuckle. Will that be enough to turn the table? The thing that impresses me about Kobashi, he's so damn resilient. Joe using that size advantage and the power advantage to his benefit. Running knee strike. Running right through the head, figuratively, of Kobashi. Uh-oh. Muscle buster, yes. But it's not enough. Joe can't believe it, but this muscle buster was not enough to get a 3 count on Kobashi. Hard knees. Joe almost in desperation mode. Powerbomb. Half Boston Crab. Modified version thereof. Samoa Joe looking for an epic submission, victory over Kenta Kobashi. Now Joe hooks the arm, so Kobashi can't use that left arm to break the hold. Joe hooks the arm again. Now both arms are neutralized on Kenta Kobashi. The referee in good position to make a quick call. Man, fatigue setting in, got to be. Joe trying to find some more oxygen to pour in those lungs. Uh-oh. Look out. Here comes a truck. Kobashi blocks it with a knife edge chop. There's a suplex right on the shoulder and neck of Samoa Joe. Kobashi very resourceful. His game plan has been very, very clean, very basic. It'd be a damn shame for this match to end on a count out. You heard him say 7. They got a 10 count to play with. He's saying that Kobashi's up. He's back in the fray. Well, this is signature Kobashi. Look at the machine gun shots. Each one taking a little bit more air out of Samoa Joe. Kobashi is in I'm beating the hell out of you mode right now. Kobashi wants to be careful he doesn't punch himself out, which is he's close to doing right now. Double chop. Somehow Samoa Joe, I don't know how, he's holding on to the ropes, but somehow he had to have the ropes to hold him up because he was just getting the hell beat out of him. Physicality. Gotta love the physicality. To a lot of people, this is what pro wrestling is or should be all about. Joe landing on his head and neck. And he's too close to the ropes. He got a 2 count out of it, did Kobashi. But he needs to find 3. Joe looks like he doesn't know where he is. He probably doesn't. And now Joe firing back up. It's funny what a man will do out of self-defense. Joe holding on, but Kobashi's got the advantage here. And on the offense. Oh, Samoa Joe just got suplexed right on his head. Right on his head. Joe is adamant. You can't believe he didn't get the 3 count. Quite frankly, neither can I. You saw how Joe landed head first. Man, those shots. That one got Joe right in the ear. You can imagine what that'll do to his equilibrium and his balance. Big time clothesline. Could this be all? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Kobashi with a thunderous clothesline that would seemingly stop a car in its tracks. Takes Joe out with that, among other things. What a great match. What a great match. So proud to be a part of it here. Folks, you just saw a classic.
Jim, that was awesome. That's something to be thankful for. I want to give everybody a heads up that at the end of that match, Kobashi's ears were ringing so badly. He just assumed he had bursted an eardrum, but that was not the case. But he wrestles with a mouthpiece, and when he pulled his mouthpiece out, half a tooth was stuck in it. And Samoa Joe was worse for wear too. He was on a bum ankle and a busted ankle, but they got together and did a tag match the next day. But boy, that was something to be thankful for, Jim. You doing commentary on one of the best matches of all time that didn't have commentary. What'd you think?
I liked it. Thanks, Connie. I appreciate your compliments. It was fun. It's fun to do. That's what I'm here for, to call wrestling matches, not tell jokes, not try to get myself over, but to get the talent over. And I thought we did a nice job in that match. It's hard to do when you're by yourself. So I always admire the great work Joey Styles used to do for Paul Heyman's company, ECW. Just amazing for the product that he did with one guy. Great stuff. So Joey's got my respect, but I'm diverting. But that was a good match. That reminded me a lot of the Mid-South stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboy, stick with the basics if you can. Get your match over with physicality. And, you know, when Cowboys guys to give a shoulder tackle, they try to run through you. So basic things became more meaningful. And I always respected Bill for that.
All right, guys, it's time to enter the room. Dick first. BlueChew is not just a tablet. It's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like somebody gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. BlueChew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. I tried BlueChew and now my hog has a zip code and voting rights. Guys, we're not just talking about performance. We're talking about your legacy or your third leg. Let's see. Give her group chat something to talk about. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little BlueChew. Go discover your options right now at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, get your first month of BlueChew free. Just use the promo code JR at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join BlueChew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head on over to BlueChew.com for details and important safety information. And a big thanks to BlueChew for sponsoring today's podcast. And JR's wiener. In an alternate timeline, when the jump happens from All Japan to Noah and they're splitting off, do you think there would have been a place in the Attitude Era for a talent like Kenta Kobashi, or would that not have translated to Vince McMahon's WWE presentation at the time?
Well, it would depend on who Kobashi was going to work with in WWE. If they had plans for him, and was going to use him in the main event level scenarios, then he'd be booked one way. if he was just going to bring him in, we're going to see if we can get him over or whatever, and so it's a half-ass effort, then it wouldn't matter because he didn't speak English that I'm aware of, at least much English. So I might be wrong about that too. But yeah, he would have done good there. Uh, you know, we almost got Hakushi over accidentally because he was such a great talent, but he couldn't. He didn't have possess the skills of communicating English with English. At least not much. A word here, a word there. So it's been challenging, but you always got to take a guy. I remember me talking to Triple H about oh hell, what's his name? I love his work.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, Nakamura. I said you'll feel the crowd will feel him, and he will feel them. He's got that old school ability to do that. And then it treated Triple H, but after he saw the guy work, he was sold. It didn't take a genius to figure that out. All I did was direct him that way. So I think that speaking of this talent, that WWE could have used him a little bit better. I thought he had Benedict level talent that he never got to explore on a long-term program. Everything seems to start and stop for him. But he's really good, really, really good. WWE's lucky to have him.
Do you think hypothetically in an alternate universe, if they would have put a guy like Shinsuke Nakamura with Paul Heyman and Paul Heyman became his mouthpiece, wouldn't that have been a winning combination? And if so, why didn't that happen, do you think?
I don't know why. Of course it would have been better. Paul Heyman with anybody makes that somebody better. Simple. And he would have done, in this occasion, he would have done the same thing. So, yeah, he'd Paul Heyman with any talent, and Paul could have collaborated with Shinsuke, and they could produce some great results. And who knows? It's not too late. Things can happen. But I like Paul to help make anybody. Look what he's done with the guys he's worked with. It's been pretty astonishing. I can only imagine the amount of money that Paul's guys have drawn for Vince or for WWE. I'm sure it's incredible. So anyway,
I just think about that pairing that you were so fond of, Gary Hart and the Great Muta, and how well that worked, and what a longer and bigger opportunity maybe it could have been.
It could have been bigger.
Yes.
But you asked me why they didn't do it. Hell, I don't know why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any clue. But I agree with you. It would have been the best for all involved.
Well, what's best for all involved in time for the holidays, if you head over to jrsbbq.com, we all have a wrestling fan in our life. And sometimes we find ourselves thinking, hey, well, they're really my wrestling friend. What can I get them that I know they don't already have? Well, how about something they'll love and they'll consume, and maybe they'll even put one on the shelf? I'm talking about JR's barbecue sauce at jrsbbq.com. I'm going to encourage you when you're looking for stocking stuffers, and they've got a lot of great deals over there right now, just in time for the holiday. Things like autographed books and action figures and trading cards. I mean, criminally discounted. Like, we got to get a handle on that. But you can even get great deals on the all-purpose seasoning. That's my go-to. They've got the red ass hot sauce. They've also got 2 types of barbecue sauce. They got ketchup. They got mustard. At times they have jerky. No matter what it is, though, wrestling fans love it. And I'm going to recommend that you buy one to try for yourself. And if you're going to gift 2, one so they'll actually consume it and try it, eat barbecue sauce the way it was intended to. And then maybe if they're a collector, hey, go ahead and get them a second bottle to throw on a shelf next to their JR action figure. That's probably the right combination, right, Jim?
Yeah, that's a good idea, Conrad. That's why you're such a great marketer. That's why I love you. No, it's a gift that it's not seasonal. It doesn't have a shelf life. It's just it's thoughtful. And when they use it, which will be more than once, they'll think of you. It makes a lot of sense. So Give it a shot. jrsbbq.com and make a lot of folks happy for not a lot of money.
I'm a big fan of it. I know you will be too. I'm also a big fan of Samoa Joe. You know, we spent a lot of time talking about Kobashi, but we just saw one incredible performance with Samoa Joe and Hangman Adam Page. It was a bloodbath, and then we saw Swerve Strickland come back at the end, but they pulled out all the stops in that match, and it feels like Samoa Joe is such a unique performer because it felt like we were seeing him at his best in 2005. A lot of people probably assumed, well, this is as good as it gets. I mean, you've got a 5-star match because it did earn a 5-star. And I think at that point, Meltzer had only given a handful of 5-star matches in the prior decade there in the United States. And Samoa Joe had like 3 of those. So I think a lot of people assumed, well, this is his ceiling, but somehow over 20 years later, he's starting his second AEW world title run. He's a unique performer, is he not?
Yeah, he's a warrior. He's a warrior, Conrad. He's special. He's the kind of guy. Tony Khan can't hire too many people like Samoa Joe. He's great, and he's a leader, and I think the world of him. He's a gift to AEW without question, and I think the guys respect him enough that they're not going to go out and disrespect the champion by laying on your ass and not laying your shit in. He's just special. He's really special. So there'll be people, anytime a title changes hands, you always get the argument, well, it's too quick, too soon. Why now? Why to him? Et cetera, et cetera. But I don't have any uneasy feeling, as the Eagles might say, peaceful, easy feeling doesn't exist in wrestling. I think I think he's going to be a great champion, and he'll make guys that he works with better. And that's why a lot of the guys from AEW are doing some more matches in Mexico. They need ring time. You can't get good working a day a week or a couple of days a month. It's impossible. I don't give a shit who you are. It just doesn't work. So we'll see how it all comes out in the wash, as Granny would say. But they need match time, all of them. All of them.
It was an incredible performance this past weekend at Full Gear. We know it was a bloodbath. We know Swerve Strickland is back. A lot of people are wondering, though, what do you think is next for Hangman Adam Page? Does it make sense for him to be back in the title hunt? Or would you, as a fan, JR, not as someone who has any inside information, as a fan, would you like to see Hangman start a new story? Or is it time to get his title back?
Oh, golly. That's no right or wrong answer to that question. It's all a matter of execution, Conrad, as you know. I'm a big execution guy. I don't think that Hangman Page reign or run as a champion should conclude because he lost to Samoa Joe, especially in the way that you described and how it was, how physical it was. So, but I'm anxious to see who's next for him. His character has my interest. So whether it's he's stepping back on the side of the road as the tag title runs through, or the title runs through, or he's going to start an issue with somebody new, I'm anxious to see what it is.
I'm anxious to see too. It feels like AEW is always building towards the next pay-per-view. World's End, about a month away from now. I can't wait to see how we get there. We know the Continental Classic is kicking off. As you and I are recording, just last night, they revealed the 2 different fields for the Continental Classic. I'm excited. You know, last year we got so many, as the kids would say these days, banger matches. I think you can expect more of that in AEW. I wanted to spend a little bit of time, though, talking about this Thanksgiving tradition in wrestling, because I think for the past several years, AEW has always been in Chicago, where Tony's family has a home there, and he's from Champaign, Illinois, not too far away, I believe. But Chicago is home base, at least in that neck of the woods. But this year, they're doing it in Nashville, and I know that wrestling on Thanksgiving goes back a long, long time, years ago. You know, Starrcade, the granddaddy of them all, Thanksgiving night. Harley Race and the Nature Boy in a steel cage, a Flair for the gold, and Flair would start his second and probably his, for all intents and purposes, most important title run at that point. What is the legacy of wrestling on Thanksgiving night, at least from your perspective, Jim?
Well, I did it. Cowboy had a big event on Thanksgiving night in the Superdome, and he'd cart me down there and would work that show. So I missed Thanksgiving for years with my family. I'm not complaining. I got paid well, and I was in the business I love. So how bad can it be? But I had a good run on Thanksgiving. It just was a great night because most people were off work the next day. Kids were out of school.
Okay.
It made sense. So, and we had some really good gates. Now, if you listen to old Michael Hayes, he'll tell you that the boys never got a fair count there. I don't know that to be true or false. But in any event, we had some massive crowds, over 20,000 people. And back then, and doing a stadium show to boot was a risky business. But it worked out. Cowboy did real well with those things.
You know, if I was a betting man, and you know I am, I would bet that when you see JR roaming around WrestleCade this weekend, he's going to be rocking the perfect jean. They really are perfect if you've got a holiday festivity you've got to attend. Maybe you've got some travel lined up. Maybe you need a television appearance. Maybe you're going to be doing meet and greets. Serious business. Double J, Jeff Jarrett, Tony Schiavone, Eric Bischoff, Jim Ross, anybody I know who's on an airplane a lot or has to make appearances, and they also have to be mindful of how much they can pack for their television appearances. They always choose the perfect jean. Why is that? Well, because it's everything that you hate about jeans as if it doesn't exist. We're talking light, stretchy, airy, comfortable. You know, we've all had those jeans that feel like you're wearing cardboard. They're just not comfortable. It feels like you're constricted. You can't really move. Nobody's ever felt that way with the perfect jean. They are an incredible value too. I'm telling you, something this comfortable, you expect to cost a whole lot more than it does. The perfect jean is really just redefined what jeans can be. We're talking no more crushed nuts or saggy diaper butts, just pure, soft, stretchy perfection. Life's too short to fight denim every step of the way. These jeans, I'm talking about the perfect jeans, they move with you. I've even seen DDP doing yoga on his back porch at the beach, and he's doing it in the perfect jeans. You can't do that in the jeans you've been rocking. By the way, over 400,000 old, young, big, and small men agree. Over 30,000 men have rated the perfect jean 5 stars because you should never have to sacrifice comfort for style. You're going to feel comfortable and be yoga ready like DDP, but you're going to look sharp enough for TV and comfy enough you'll forget you're actually wearing them. I'm a big believer in this product, and I want you to know they've got a size for you too. They've got 6 fits. You can go from 26 to 50-inch waist and links up to 38, giving you more than 5,000 ways to find your perfect match. They've got everything from thick, skinny, short, tall, no matter where you fall. The perfect jean has you hooked up. By the way, I want to brag on their den khakis. I think it's like the holy grail for the office. Stretchy enough to bend down to fix the office printer, again, without fear of showing your coworkers your plumber's crack. Jamie in my office, he was doing that all the time. I know what to get him for Christmas now. It's the perfect jean. We're tired of looking at your butt crack, Jamie. Go ahead and get yourself a fantastic pair of the perfect jeans. And let me just give you a pro tip. It will be a Christmas present that someone in your life will want to wear every single day. And this works year round too. I'm telling you, it works in warmer weather. It works in cooler weather. Right now, for a limited time, our listeners can get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectjean.nyc, or just Google The Perfect Jean and use the code JR15 for 15% off. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc. Just be sure to use that promo code JR15. Now, after you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Fuck your khakis and get the perfect jean. Did you ever hear the old crazy idea that Terry Funk floated about, hey, since Thanksgiving night is everybody's biggest night of the year, what if we went and got holds on all these arenas and then the promoters would have to pay us a king's ransom in order to have the building. I don't think he ever actually did that, but
I hadn't heard that one.
I think it was in his book, or someone wrote that in a book that I read once. But was that a staple in every territory that you recall, Thanksgiving night? And was it for the reasons you laid out, that people were usually off and kids are normally out of school? Because if I'm honest with you, I never really thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense.
Well, Conrad, you know I'm an old marketer.
Sure.
No, seriously, I think that was the concept. The target audience was available. You could find them. So, and that whole weekend was like a celebratory weekend in a lot of communities. Sales, Black Fridays and all these other things. So I always just found somebody to partner with. We had our most success partnering with Popeyes. So I gave out. They gave out. There's two ways of doing this. If you're a promoter out there, you're thinking about it. Do coupons. Coupons should be forced distributed. They should be in the to-go orders, shall we say, and taken with the customer. And we did a deal where we had $5 tickets in the upper deck of the Superdome, and that worked out pretty well.
Let's talk about something that didn't work out pretty well. Your first Starrcade. As a reminder, you helped facilitate the sale from Watts's promotion to the Crockett's. That happens in 87. So your maiden voyage, at least for Starrcade, is also the first time that the Crockett's decide, let's go more national. Let's move out of Greensboro. So they did Starrcade in Chicago. And this, along with the accumulation of the Watts territory, was enough for Vince McMahon to go to the pay-per-view companies and say, nope, we're going to do our own. Survivor Series was created in direct response with Starrcade. And you're not necessarily quote unquote office at the time, I don't think, with the Crockett's, but you are on the commentary team. Right. Strategically, when you learned that Vince had counter programmed Starrcade with Survivor Series, did you think your ship was sunk with JCP, or how was that received by the good old JR back in 87? I
expected, a retaliation. He's Vince McMahon, for God's sakes. And we entered his playground and started playing with our ball. And he wasn't comfortable with that whatsoever. So I didn't think it was the end of the world, but I thought, as I might say on TV, business was going to pick up.
So we know that Survivor Series is really created as a new Thanksgiving night tradition, because prior to that, the WWF was oftentimes giving their talent the night off. They weren't doing the old territory model of working on Thanksgiving night, but they started with Survivor Series. And of course, we know you joined the Merry Band of Misfits out of Stamford, Connecticut in 1993. Right. You were a part of a lot of Survivor Series, including some more infamous ones. Is there one Survivor Series that stands out above all the others to you all these years later?
Well, that's a hard question to answer, Conrad. During the Austin McMahon rivalry, they didn't miss a lick at Survivor Series.
98 is still revered as one of the best from a single show story perspective. You may recall that they were going to have a championship tournament, and it felt like Mankind was going to be the hand-picked corporate champion for Vince McMahon. And little did we know it was a double turn. They managed to screw Austin with Shane McMahon's help in the tournament. And when the finals came down to Mankind and The Rock, it was revealed that a babyface Rock was now aligned with Vince McMahon, and he became the world champ for the first time. That's 1998. And a lot of people think it was maybe Vince Russo's best work. It was a star-making night for The Rock. That's probably near the top of the list, huh?
Yeah, good booking. That's good booking. Yeah. You knew who you wanted to build. It was clear who we wanted to build on that night. Dwayne. And he carried the ball. He knew what opportunity awaited him, and like a star player will do, he played his biggest in big games, and Dwayne was no different.
We know, of course, that the brand is really the WWF/WWE. But when you're thinking of creating these other IP, these major tentpole events, shows like WrestleMania and SummerSlam and the Royal Rumble, as a fan, I kind of viewed Survivor Series to be the least exciting of the bunch. And I wonder, do you think the Montreal Screwjob and the idea that that whole piece of business happened at Survivor Series left some sort of stain on the Survivor Series brand? Like if that would have happened at WrestleMania, would we feel differently, or SummerSlam, or
Yeah,
not?
I think it all depends on what's booked on the card. If you have what the fans want to see, they'll still come see it.
Yeah.
No matter what the card is at Survivor Series, and no matter what happened in Montreal. Montreal is far in the rearview mirror, I think. We enjoy talking about it. You know, for those of us that were there on that fateful night, it was nobody. I don't think anybody that was there that was getting paid by WWE can say that that wasn't one of the more meaningful events that they were ever booked on, because of all the extemporaneous shit that happened.
Well, listen, I don't know how to bring this up, but I don't know if you saw, but recently, what's that?
Ahead. Go ahead.
There was a conversation recently that Bret Hart had where he was doing an interview. And he said something about that kind of relates to the Montreal Screwjob, I guess. But boy, it got the internet talking a lot. Bret said, quote, "I think Shawn and Vince were sleeping with each other."
That's great. That's hilarious. Bret knows how to push the buttons, man. That's all he's doing. That's all he's doing. And it's working because we're talking about it among others.
The exact quote is, "I think there's more going on here between these guys. Honestly, I think that Shawn and Vince were sleeping with each other. I'm being dead honest. I think I'm very close to the truth here. Shawn and Vince were lovers. I got caught between two lovers and I got shafted and screwed over. And Shawn was so envious and jealous of my position that he finally had to sleep with Vince to get it." What do you make of this, Jim?
That's bullshit. This Shawn in that era and that point in that time, he was in a different mindset. He was a different guy. I don't think he had in any way, form, or fashion believe what he said. I think he just stirred the shit.
Having fun stirring it up.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, Bret knows what buttons to push.
Yeah. Do you think, and I know it's not like you're in regular communication with him. Well, I've never asked you that. When is the last time you talked to Vince?
Christmas ago.
Okay. So 11 months ago.
Yeah.
When you got to spend a lot of time with him, you know, if news like that comes across his phone or someone tells him, "Hey, Bret said this," how do you imagine Vince would receive that news in 2025?
Well, in front of people, they'll try to blow it off like it means nothing because it's just a bitter guy trying to stir the shit. And that's what I would think. But he privately, it'll piss him off a little bit, and he'll internalize, and he'll be angry. But he won't. I don't think he'll publicly show it or say anything about it.
You said he might perceive Bret as being a bitter guy. Do you perceive Bret to be bitter?
No. He made a fortune.
Yeah.
And he's healthy again.
Yeah.
Last time I saw him, he was healthy as a horse and he was feeling good. And I can tell you from my own personal experiences, your health it's all about your health, man. All about your health. I know it's not exciting to do a podcast about, but you know, there were times in the last 60 days I didn't know if I was going to make it. So it's serious.
Well, give us an update. You know, we haven't pulled the curtain back. How are you feeling today, Jim, as we are a couple of days away from Thanksgiving? How are you feeling right now?
Feeling pretty good. I still had trouble with my balance. I used a cane or a walker, and I have to have a little help when flying. But I love going to these appearances and seeing the fans and hearing their stories. It's good medicine for me, quite frankly. So, and I enjoy seeing Jerry. Jerry and I are both in our mid-70s, and I don't want to wish us either one any ill will, but we've both overcome some health issues that we may have stopped the normal guy. But so I don't know how many more of these we get to have. It's a privilege to me to work with him. And when people come out, they're going to get friendly interaction. We love talking to him, and Lawler's funny, and I try to keep up with him. So it's a good experience. It's good for us. It's good for both of us. Jerry is trying to avoid having those strokes, and my getting around, my mobility has been hampered. So we'll just have to make it work.
Well, we are going to make it work. We're so delighted that we're going to see you this weekend at WrestleCade. Don't forget, you can see the voice of professional wrestling this Saturday at the Benton Convention Center for WrestleCade, right there in Winston-Salem. It's 10 a.m. to 2:30. He'll be seated right next to his great longtime pal, Jerry the King Lawler. You don't want to miss your opportunity to go see these guys. I'm going to be there. JBL's going to be there. Tony Schiavone's going to be there. It's a who's who, and everybody needs to be there, including you. Join us this weekend at WrestleCade at 10 a.m. this Saturday. Jim, I got to ask, longtime listeners of the program, they know that your Thanksgiving favorite is cornbread dressing. Are you going to have some this Thanksgiving?
Yeah, my two daughters are coming over Friday. They split the menu up. Both of them are really good cooks, but my oldest daughter is going to bring cornbread dressing, and among other things. But so I got to pick out what I wanted, and they're abiding by that request.
Well, we're having a lot of fun. We hope that you guys have had fun with this. I'll tell you what, I'm thankful that JR's still with us and able to do what he loves so much, and that's be the voice of wrestling. You just got to see wrestling history, one of the all-time greatest matches in Ring of Honor history and in wrestling history. Go enjoy it now. Watch ROH.com is how you can sign up for Honor Club. You'll get the weekly program and the extensive archives, including the match we just showed you. But there's only one place you can hear JR call that match, and that's right here at Grilling JR. We hope you'll hit the subscribe button and make plans to join us next week. And by the way, if you've got other matches you'd like for Jim to take a stab at doing commentary for in the Ring of Honor library, by all means, let us know on Twitter. It's at JR Grilling over on Twitter. That's at JR Grilling. And maybe if you're a promoter and you like the idea of having JR do commentary on a match with footage that you own, we will link an email in the description for today's show. And hey, if you've got something pretty cool, we'll take a stab at it. But we're going to have some fun with this. Now that I know Jim likes this, we may do more of this. So if you've been enjoying our podcast mostly from an audio perspective on your RSS, I want to encourage you, go right now to grillingjr.com. It's just going to take you to our YouTube. It's totally free, and you can actually watch the matches with us at grillingjr.com. I can't think of anything more fun than sitting down and watching wrestling with Jim Ross. And I'm thankful I got the opportunity to do that, Jim. And I hope that you guys just put a whooping on LSU this Saturday.
Me too, man. I'm worried about that game. LSU got nothing to lose, everything to gain. So we'll see. But I'll be traveling. I'll be following the game on my phone. So that reminds me, I got to make sure I record that son of a bitch before I leave.
Well, tell that son of a bitch, Stephen Link, we love him and we appreciate all of his help today. And he needs to get your damn DVR going. And we'll see you back right here just on time for Grilling JR with the voice of professional wrestling, Mr. Jim Ross.
Boomer Center, everybody.
Hey, just in time for the holidays, what if you didn't have to worry about any of that credit card debt? If you're feeling stuck making the minimum payments and you don't want to have to put Christmas on a credit card, we can help at savewithconrad.com. We routinely help our listeners save hundreds of dollars a month Find out how much money you can save right now for free at savewithconrad.com.